Well, good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you guys and you ladies for being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys and you ladies, this literally does not work. Well, I have some breaking news. Jadeveon Clowney was caught stealing again. That's right. Jadeveon Clowney was caught stealing from the Cleveland Browns, where he signs a one-year deal worth $10 million. Now, I'm not one to get into a guy's pocket, okay, because I'm broke-ass. Maybe you could say I'm jealous. I don't know. But I'm actually glad that he signed a contract so we don't have to hear about the Cowboys should go get Jadeveon Clowney. And I'm probably butchered up his name like I always do, but you know who the hell I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. But every year that he's a free agent, should the Cowboys get him, the Cowboys should go get him. Jadeveon Clowney linked to the Cowboys. Always, always, always. And I keep saying, no. Dude checks out. The dude has always been overhyped. Seriously. Now, when I talk about being a little bit over, no, let's go back in history here, because this actually is a good thing, because this brings up to me in mind the term generational talent. Clowney was thought to be that generational talent, as they say. And I'm not saying that Kyle Pitts is the next Jadeveon Clowney. But it was because of what he did in college, which he looked really good. And this 40-yard dash.
Now the average 40 for a defensive end last year was 4.77.
Get more TV time. So 4.47 would be above average, though.
That says, now, when we talk about Chris Johnson at 4.24, to me, that's a more impressive number. A 270-pound man running 4.47 unofficially is more impressive to me than a 200-pounder running 4.24. That's crazy right there. That's just flat out crazy.
Yeah, it was that move right there. And leading up to the draft, this is what they kept saying. This is literally the hype that became why he was the number
While a
one
lot
pick.
of the hype at this year's NFL draft involves quarterbacks and wide receivers, the first player off the board will likely be one of the most coveted defensive players in several years, Jadeveon Clowney, despite some criticism of his work ethic on the field.
There's a sense that he doesn't try as hard as the NFL highlight packages make you think every guy plays. Plenty of players take plays off. We know he's got all the tools. If I were a betting man, I'd bet this guy will be a very good NFL player, and I think he's worth the risk.
Should he?
Yeah, they said he should be worth the risk. Well, I'm not sure that that's the case, because I'm sitting here going through the numbers, and as everybody's always said, hey, the Cowboys should get that guy. I think the hype, people still believe that he is a great player. Now, here's the thing. When you go back through and you look at his stats, it's actually not that great. In his 7 seasons in the NFL, he has a total of 32 sacks. For those of you who don't know how to do math, that comes out to about 4.7 sacks a season for the number one pick in the draft. 4.7 sacks per year. But here's the thing. His best season, he had 9 sacks. And that was, 9.5 sacks. And then came back with 9 in a contract year with Houston. Houston kind of said, we're going to let you walk. He proceeds to go to the Seattle Seahawks. FYI, he made $15 million his last year in Houston with 9 sacks. He goes to the Seattle Seahawks, gets another $15 million contract for 1 year, and has 3 sacks. Seattle chooses not to re-sign him, and the Tennessee Titans pick him up thinking, okay, this will be good for us. He played 8 games last year and had 0 sacks. 0 sacks. And Cleveland picks him up in a season where players aren't making much money. J.J. Watt, what did he get? Basically, his cap number is like $5 million this year. Clowney got $10 million coming off of 3 sacks over the last 2 seasons. or we can say 12 sacks over the last 3 years. And this is the thing that I talk about when I talk about players that are overhyped in the draft. Every year we always hear about this great talent, generational, incredible. This guy's going to change football. He gets the big contract, he gets the high draft pick, and they never really pan out. So as I hear people talk about, Kyle Pitts, I can't help to think about the Jadeveon Clowneys, the Jamarcus Russells, the Vince Youngs, the Ryan Leafs. It seems like more times than not, the guys that everybody says are going to be the great ones, they're not. It's few and far between. It's actually those guys that aren't the hyped ones that become the Hall of Famers. Everybody knew with this guy's size, his strengths, and let me go through. Let's see. Let me go through Walter Football and give you exactly what they talked about. This is not somebody that he just wasn't that good. This is a guy that they thought was incredible. Extremely fast, runs as fast as most wide receivers. Elite speed for an edge rusher. Intimidates offensive players and game plans. Able to beat other elite players. Dominant size. Raw natural power. Explosion. Dominant pass rusher. Commands double teams. Can beat double teams. Very destructive. Excellent and underrated run defender. Strong at the point of attack. Repertoire of moves. Strives to be a big game changer. Ability to sink his shoulders and hips. Active hands. Able to use his hands and feet at the same time. Has strength to anchor and hold the ground versus the run. Adept at forcing fumbles. Lightning get off. Consistent source pass of pressure. Can take over games. Pursuant skills, can run from a variety of spots, including inside, has the ability to drop in pass coverage as a 3-4 outside linebacker, good teammate, should be able to produce quickly, plug and play in any defense, dominant college football's best conference. Dominated college footballs. Tons of upsides, scheme versatility. His weakness list? Inconsistent motor, took plays off, especially in the 2012 season, lackadaisical work in ethic and conditioning. Can he handle the pressure, and how will he respond to money? Clearly, not a lot of things that were negatives. The summary, the hype around Jadeveon Clooney is justified. He's the best defensive prospect to enter the draft this century. Let me say that again. The hype around Jadeveon Clooney is justified. He is the best defensive prospect to enter the NFL draft this century, with the possibility exception of Ndamukong Suh in 2010. Clowney has the rare skill set with an elite combination of speed, strength, and athleticism. He is the Andrew Luck of football draft prospects, a high-pick lock who is extremely coveted by every team in the NFL and a safe selection to turn into a franchise player. Coming out of high school, Clowney was the number one recruit in the nation, and he is a day one contributor for South Carolina. Clowney was the SFC. Okay, that's enough. But you follow where I'm going here. And let's go back to the Andrew Luck, because I don't think Andrew Luck's going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't think Andrew Luck has any Super Bowl rings. I'm not saying that Kyle Pitts won't be that guy, but they said best draft prospect of this century. And I'm looking at it, 7 years, 32 sacks. Yeah. I'm going to stick with my thing that he's stealing money. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, some people will be mad, Joseph Collin, that I'm not on the hype train for Kyle Pitts just yet. And as always, I appreciate you guys. And with that being said,
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report.
I wish already.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is